There's been a lot of requests lately on the boards for me to use the whiteboard again, and so I have. What I've displayed here on the whiteboard is 3 names, the names of our heroes, our hero players. We have Scoots, Red Tomato, and Aqualad. Here's Red Tomato. Here is Scoots. And here is Mooney's Aqualad. Next to each of the names, I've placed a number. 7, 4, and 1. These numbers represent points that each of the names that the number is next to has earned. So as you can see, Scoots has earned 7 points. Red Tomato has earned 4 points, and Mooney's Aqualad has earned 1 point. What this shows is that if the game were to end at this point, these 3 would be placed in this order. So if the heroes win, Scoots, pardon me while I get a marker, would be in first place. Red Tomato would be in second place. And Mooney's Aqualad would be in third. Now, if the heroes are to lose to Curly, then Scoots would actually come in second place. Red Tomato would come in third place. And Mooney's Aqualad would come in fourth place. So yes, that does mean that Curly is assured of either coming in first place or fourth place. He'll either have 4 points or 0 points. Right back to it. Red Tomato has become indifferent and it's made him indecisive. Here's what's been going on in his turn thus far. He came up from Fornos to the North Downs into the ruins of Angmar. That's where he became indifferent because some orc scouts looked at him. So now he has a couple of choices that he's thinking about. One choice that he's already kind of decided not to do is to go ahead and attack Mount Grundabad, and have to deal with Gothmog of Gorgoroth, Lieutenant of Sauron. One of the reasons he's not going to do that is turn order. If Mooney's Aqualad was going first this turn, he could charge in there, fight him, and then maybe he could come in and use his favor, maybe finish him off, and use his favor to get rid of this plot. However, Mooney's Aqualad doesn't have enough favor to get rid of the plot, so he's kind of got to be the one to do it. Another choice he has is he could go up here and just kind of sit tight and wait to swoop in next turn. Now, another interesting choice would be to come back south. He spent a lot of time coming up here. He did finish his advanced quest, which made him more agile. However, down south by Isengard, where everyone was earlier, there's this little thing which moves the red marker 1 space, if you recall. And also, there's a buildup happening, which means likely that Curly has a plot up his sleeve. We'll come back after Red Tomato's made up his mind. Alright, Red Tomato's made his decision, and here's why I think he did what he did. I think these two are becoming some good buddies, and my evidence for that is, first, I think Red Tomato felt kind of bad because he left Mooney the Aqualad to get beat up in Fangorn earlier. Then I think a bond happened when the two decided that Red Tomato would give Mooney the Aqualad a boat. Also, I think he just likes the idea of the heroes working together.
What more, if he did decide to go down here, the Mouth of Sauron could easily jump him. He would not have very many cards to defend himself and could potentially lose his horse in the process.
The time has come for Scoots Eleanor to defend herself from the Black Serpent, Lord of Herod. If you recall last time, Curly raised the Black Serpent, Lord of Herod, from the dead and placed him rather far from home, over in the Withered Heath where Scoots was. So now he jumps her and they're about to battle. So let's see how it plays out. We'll pick it up right here. We'll flip over. Here's what the Black Serpent, Lord of Herod. Oh, I should actually reveal hers first because I got to make a choice for her. And here, I don't know if you saw when I was with my son who had just woken up, I said she had a surprise up her sleeve. She's going to do it right away. And that's this card, Retreat, which is, if you do not take damage this round, you may end the battle, move to an adjacent location, and then continue your turn. So here's Hack, and I shuffled these up. I didn't know what card it was going to be before I decided she was going to play that. But it's got two shields, which is a pretty good shot of retreating. Anyway, so she gets out of it. Right into Erebor is where she's going to go, and she's safe. We'll continue her turn. So Scoots got away, but now she's pretty stuck. She would really like to be able to get to the Woodland Realm this turn and get rid of this plot, especially since we're nearing the end, and it would be a lot better if for the heroes if their marker was out on front. They don't know what Curly's goal is, and he could have, as far as they know, he could have succeeded in that goal. And so if he gets out front, he automatically wins if he gets to the finale space first. However, by moving forward, if this is not blank, if this is a monster, she doesn't have the cards to beat pretty much anything, so she would be stuck there. Bad thing about being stuck there is there's horsemen all around her, these minions, and they would just jump her next turn. So she would be out a bunch of life. She would be, yeah, she really is probably better off staying in the Haven, getting some more cards next turn, and then being able to press on. She'll still be in a tight spot though. Scoots Eleanor is really kind of trapped. Mooney the Aqualad just got jumped by a giant spider, a relative, I believe, of the one that he defeated in Fangorn as part of his basic quest. He beat it pretty handily, but it did cost him some health and some cards. So I think that was probably Curly's notion that he would just wear him down a little bit before he obviously goes to Mount Grundabad and faces Gothmog of Gorgoroth, Lieutenant of Sauron. Mooney's Aqualad just took on Gothmog of Gorgoroth, Lieutenant of Sauron, and they battled to a standstill. In the end, Gothmog lost half its life. They both ended up exhausted, heaving on the floor. Mooney's Aqualad had to pull out all his stops just to do anything there. He had to use his special retaliate card, his special reversal card. Neither of those really did a lot for him. Gothmog got some lucky blows. He canceled Mooney's big starting ranged attack, which maybe wasn't too smart for Aqualad. I mean, Aqualad's known for his arrow shooting, so he probably shouldn't lead off with a bow attack, because if they have a canceling card, they'll probably use it. Maybe he's learned a little bit there. So he now has nothing in his life pool and 2 cards in his hand, and he's sitting in Mount Grundabad, which is not a good place to be right now, because he's gonna be ambushed by Gothmog next turn, unless the player order works to his advantage, and maybe Red Tomato is able to come to the rescue. But now it's Curly's turn. Oh my, Curly has just had his turn, and it is not looking good for our heroes who we look up to so fondly. Let's take a look at what's happened. So first of all, as it was easy to surmise, he did put a plot
in Isengard, and it's a bigger plot than all the other ones. It's the rise of the Uruk-hai. Now, if you look, it's 3 away. There's no way well, I don't want to say this. It's no way. These are heroes. Okay, nothing is impossible. They could potentially stop him from getting to the finale spot on their next turn. However, it will be very difficult, and let's take a look at why it will be so difficult. All right, we can just run down each character. So, starting with Red Tomato here, the Witch King appeared in the ruins of Angmar. Whatever Red Tomato stirred up when he went to visit there was not good, because the Witch King came out and followed him into the Northern Waste and jumped him. So he's going to have a hard time defeating the Witch King and then going down to fight Gothmog of Gorgoroth in order to get rid of this peril there. Worst thing is he can't rest. He desperately needs to rest in order to be effective. That's going to be tough for him. Okay, moving on to Scoots. Scoots is even more trapped than she was before. Not only is this horseman here in the Withered Heath, but also there's a monster maybe in Lake Esgaroth, and a new monster in the Iron Hills. Good thing for her is she will be able to rest, which she desperately needs to do. And the cost for that moving a space isn't going to do anything. So she's maybe even in the best position, even though she's surrounded, to do something. She could she's got a good chance of getting into the woodland realm. Now let's look at Mooney's Aqualad. Mooney's Aqualad's probably going to get tossed around by Gothmog of Gorgoroth, Lieutenant of Sauron, at the start of his turn, and then he might just be defeated. Who knows? And if he isn't, maybe he can pull off a victory. That would be great. However, I don't think he can rest either, which means he would have to pull off a victory with 2 spaces. The reason why they can't rest is because of the Witch King moving to the Northern Waste right there. He just popped up, blam, and messed everything up. Even if he doesn't get defeated, he's going to have a hard time escaping because the High Pass is imperiled, and as is the ruins of Angmar, Northern Waste has a Witch King. Very, very difficult position for the heroes to be in. Oh, and the Nazgul are right here, so yeah, it's tough. It's tricky. Do you remember this sweet little baby who was having a pleasant dream of a nice world where, well, I guess I never said it was nice, but at least there were stately elves and whatnot? It doesn't look like that's the world we're going to live in. It looks like we're going to live in Curly's world where ambiguity reigns. Things are not looking good for our heroes, and frankly, I'm worried. This is going to have to be a good place to stop because, for one, I don't think I can deal with any more emotional trauma this late at night. And for two, we're probably running out of time, and I would hate to cut it in the middle of the hero's turn because this might be their last.